I wanted to love you. Hey, I'm just hanging out here with the Dell 28-inch Ultra HD monitor. This model is the P2815Q. I believe this is actually the P2815Q with a lowercase f. I'm not sure what the lowercase f stands for. Possibly fuck, because that's the easiest way to review this thing. I really wanted to love this. Let this video be a lesson to you guys. Never go online with a buzz when you're happy and click on stuff that you might want to buy. I saw this online with a buzz. I saw it on Mass Drop, and I was like, hey, I'll join the Mass Drop because I've had 5 beers and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think people are 4K, whatever. And I figured the worst case scenario, even if it sucks, I could do a video on it and, you know, sell it on eBay or something like that. So here it is. Let's cover the specifications first before I tell you how much I hate it. All right. Viewable image size is 711.2 millimeters. That's 28 inches diagonally across the screen here. Maximum resolution is 3840 by 2160. That is not like 4K. That's UHD 4K. That stands for Ultra HD. And that's at 30 hertz. So it hurts me to run at 30 hertz. Here's what I thought. I thought 30 hertz would be totally fine for video editing, for watching videos, because most of that stuff is 24 frames per second. Or, you know, 30 frames per second. Now, if something's 30 frames per second, that'll look just fine. If you're playing a game and it's 60 frames per second, oh God. Anything above 30 frames per second is going to create some terrible VSync issues where you see the tearing in the screen. It's tearing everywhere. And then, if you want to, like, you know, turn on VSync, that's going to lock you to 30 hertz, and it's going to look weird. There's going to be some strange stuttering issues. So this is not for games, guys. 16 by 9, of course. The pixel pitch is pretty good. It's 0.16 millimeters. The color depth on this, they advertise 1.073 billion colors. Contrast ratio, dynamic 2 million to 1. 2 million to 1. That dynamic means nothing to me. I'm sorry, companies out there that want to say 2 million to 1. Dynamic means nothing to me. It's 1,000 to 1. And the viewing angle is 160 to 170, they advertise. And the response time is not too bad. It's 5 milliseconds, but this is a TN panel. We could probably do better than 5 milliseconds on a TN panel. And it also does have an anti-glare, but we're picking up some of the studio lights here. But the anti-glare was not too bad. All right, let's talk about the actual experience I've had with this. So, first off, viewing angle 160 to 170. Yeah, you can see it at 170 degrees, but the color shift is awful. This is nothing like an IPS panel. I mean, IPS panels are on a totally different level. The main difference between a TN panel and an IPS panel is that a TN panel is fast. IPS panel has way better color reproduction and way better viewing angles, just better color saturation. That brings me to my next point. The colors seem a bit washed out. The white was not completely white. The black was not completely black. The latency is, it felt like I was moving my mouse through molasses. It was worse than like the worst Apple mouse acceleration I've ever felt. It felt, I mean, it was like, ugh! I like threw my hand off the mouse. I know there's a lot of people online, and they seem to have no problem with the you know, the lag, the mouse lag. But it's everything. Gaming lags. You move your mouse and like everything feels drunk. It's weird. Now, I will note that if you plug this up to the HDMI port, it was a little bit better, but it's still very noticeable. And if anyone is doing precision work like Photoshop or Premiere, or you know, 3D work, CAD work, anything like that, I would think that that would bother them, even though, like I said, I've seen some people online saying, oh, you know, I use Autodesk or whatever, and it's there, but I got used to it. I can't get used to it. It drives me insane. And especially if you have a multi-monitor configuration, you move from one of your other monitors onto this monitor, and it is like you almost fall on the floor because it's like you hit a major speed bump. And that may be because I do use a mouse with a high CPI setting. And I haven't tried it with like a lower, you know, traditional like 800 or 400 CPI like you'd see in most consumer grade mice. I'm not sure if it would be any different there, but the mouse lag was a major deal breaker. I unplugged this thing so fast. I tried out the different ports, you know, even the display port, and there was still mouse lag. So that killed it for me. Let's talk about a couple good things. The real estate you're going to get with this is ridiculous. It's like 4 1080p displays. That's the reason you get something like this. The other thing I really like about this, the connectivity options are unbelievably amazing, and the stand is like my favorite stand ever. Why can't I just have all these ports in the stand and get rid of get rid of the panel, man? That's what I want. So let's talk about all the different ports on the back of this unit. Now we have DisplayPort. We have an in and an out for DisplayPort. So that's pretty cool. We also have a mini DisplayPort. We have HDMI, and that's 1.4. That'll support 4K at 30 hertz through the HDMI, and I was running it that way. We also have a full USB 3 hub on the back. We have 4 USB ports. So there's one input for USB and then 4 USB 3.0 ports. This also has the quick release and the Visa mount. So it's got the traditional Dell quick release. If you ever used a Dell monitor and a Dell stand that had the quick release, it's pretty much the same thing. You could pop this off and put like a good Dell monitor on here, but why not just buy a good Dell monitor with a good stand in the first place? But I do like the quick release a lot. The stand here supports, you can move it up and down just like this. Let me just very easily slides up and down. It's so easy to adjust. It also supports swivel and rotate. Like you can swivel the base here, just pull it up here and swivel it. Yes, swiveling, swiveling, swiveling. It swivels very nice and smoothly. There's rubber feet on the bottom of this. It's not a huge footprint, but decent sized footprint. But also, let me get the swivel going, or the tilt going. There we go. Tilt it upright, make a vertical 4K display. And then there's a slot in the middle of the stand there to help route all your cables. So, like I said, I didn't like the monitor. It was a bit too washed out. You can go in and try to color correct it, to your heart's content. If you're a professional, you would probably want to do that. But if you're a professional, why would you buy a TN panel in the first place? I don't know. I can't think of anyone who should be using this. Maybe a stock trader who needs a ton of information on the screen at all time and does not mind the mouse lag. That could be good. You could have like a gazillion graphs and charts and that sort of thing. Maybe this could have some uses in scientific applications, but for general use, it's going to be frustrating because the fonts are going to be so small, and if you scale it, you're going to lose the whole idea of 4K. The idea of having all this real estate. Good for gamers? No, hell no. Good for content creators? Well, it's TN. The color saturation's bad. The precision with the mouse is not there for me. Making like precise adjustments, doing precise edits and that sort of thing. It's just this monitor, man. It's not good for anybody. Why? I wanted 4K so bad. So I'm gonna have to look elsewhere for 4K. I think the bottom line here is it's all about the price and the real estate. That's how they're probably gonna market this. Just cheap 4K, but it's Ultra HD 4K. But yeah, you know what I mean. That's really the only thing that I can say about this that's good. It's a good implementation of TN, yeah. Mouse lag's awful. I hate it. God, I hate it. Then we have my nose itching. And if you're totally new to monitors, I'm imagining some of you guys are just showing up because, hey, I want a big display for productivity, and I don't know much about hertz and all that stuff, except for when I fall down the stairs, it hurts pretty bad, yeah.